So here we are Wednesday. As you guys know, we start by learning from others, and then we do the physical practice, and then we end with the seated meditation. So I'm looking in this book, and we're in part 6, transforming through altruism. This is complicated stuff. So I had a little bit of a harder time to pick a reading. I'm going to read the first little sequence that describes it, and then I'm going to read the one I picked. This is a little bit harder for me and maybe for you to understand. I don't know. We'll see. We'll learn this together. So the chapter is called Transforming Through Altruism. The qualities of bodhicitta, the altruistic intention. The definition of bodhicitta is given in Maitreya's Ornament of Realization, where he states that there are 2 aspects to altruism. The first is the condition that produces the altruistic outlook, and this involves the compassion that a person must develop towards all sentient beings, and the aspiration he or she must cultivate to bring about the welfare of all sentient beings. This leads to the second aspect, which is the wish to attain enlightenment. It is for the sake of benefiting all beings that this wish should arise in us. Okay, and now to the reading that I picked. The 2 altruistic aspirations. The aspiration to attain enlightenment. The highest form of spiritual practice is the cultivation of the altruistic intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, known as bodhicitta. This is the most precious state of mind, the supreme source of benefit and goodness, that which fulfills both our immediate and ultimate aspirations, and the basis of altruistic activity. However, bodhicitta can only be realized through regular concerted effort. So in order to attain it, we need to cultivate the discipline necessary for training and transforming our mind. Okay, so here we are, like, this reading is about, enlightenment. So what we're doing here, at least we are meeting every Wednesday to train our bodies and our minds. We do it on a regular basis. We do it week after week, month after month, year after year, and we're learning together. So at least we're doing that part of what Dalai Lama talked about. Not sure about the other stuff. We're trying. Okay, here we go. So find your seat. Maybe lift your heels and your toes. You can look at your feet, see that they're moving. Notice the connection to the earth. And then bringing your awareness to 2 sitting bones. Maybe shift your weight from one to the other. Kind of knowing that there are 2 parts of you, or at least 2 parts of you, and that we have a choice. Training the mind, we have a choice about our thoughts, we have a choice about our actions. And if I think about the reading, what did I hear at my level of understanding? It's a choice. I'm doing this practice. I'm going to do this practice so it benefits me and everyone else. even the people I don't really like. That's tricky. And then if you want to use your fingers, tap gently at the crown of your head, allowing the crown of the head to rise, slightly tuck the chin. The neck is long, the shoulders are wide. The feet are grounded into the earth, the sitting bones are grounded into the chair, and the crown of the head is rising up towards the sky. We're connected both to earth and to the sky or the universe. And then maybe imagine how the crown of the head is opening up, allowing for the mind to be trained. Allow your mind to be trained. Allow the pathways in the brain to change to the benefit of all sentient beings. So maybe just imagine how your mind and brain and the pathways in your brain are changing to the benefit of all sentient beings. Allow it to happen. And then maybe bring awareness to your breathing. Notice how your mind stays open as you're breathing, allowing your mind to change, allowing to your mind to be trained in a way that benefits all sentient beings. So the mind is open and the breath is coming in and out. And then place your hands on your knees and start the cat-cow movement. And then finding your way back to neutral. Now look at your hands. Imagine how your hands have been trained all these years. These fingers and hands have been trained to do all kinds of different things. And the same way with the mind, we can train the mind to make choices or think in a way that benefits all sentient beings, even the ones we don't like. That's the hard part. Okay, now bring the hands back up, clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. You can inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And then reach and reach and reach and reach. And notice how the feet are pushing into the earth as the hands are reaching. So we need connection with the earth to reach up towards the sky. We need both. And then turn, let the arms go wide, look behind you, breathe. Really extend those elbows. And then release the arms, lift the shoulders a few times. And then look at your hands. And imagine all those hours that your hands and fingers have been trained to do things. And the same thing we can do with the mind. We can train the mind so that we make choices and take actions that are beneficial for all sentient beings. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that Dalai Lama seems to think it's possible. And then reach and reach and reach and reach. And then turn, let the arms go wide, look behind you. Straighten those elbows. How far can you reach? How far can your fingertips reach? And then release. And then lift the shoulders a few times. Okay, now look at your right hand. Look at those fingers. Now, dip them in paint. And then draw a picture. What did you hear from the reading? What did you hear from the reading? Draw that picture. And then release. And then look at your left hand. And then put the fingers in paint. And then try another version of what you heard from the reading. What did you hear from the reading? And release. And then placing the arms in cactus and then gently rotating from side to side. So this movement symbolizes perspective. So how can we train our mind to gain a wider perspective? How can you train your mind? Sometimes it's as simple as saying, I don't have full information. Just acknowledging that we don't have full perspective. There are things I don't know. I only see things from my perspective, and that is not the truth. So I don't have full perspective. I don't have full perspective. And then maybe swimming. And letting knee and elbow connect. Knee and elbow connect. And then crossing the midline. Okay, now let the knee and elbow stay connected, stay connected. To retrain something, we have to stay with it a little bit longer than we want to. So maybe imagine your mind staying open, allowing it to be retrained. All those thought patterns, all those ideas that we have, they are not the full perspective, allowing other ideas to come into our mind, training the mind. Allow the mind to be trained. And then release and then try the other side. Maybe ask yourself, what is it that I'm not seeing? Just acknowledging that we don't see everything and asking, what is it that I'm not seeing? Asking for the mind to be retrained. What is it that I'm not seeing? And then release. And then let's try both. Let's try both. What is it that I'm not seeing? Asking for guidance, asking, being open to allowing your mind to be retrained. And release. Okay, finding that wide and stable stance, a wide and stable stance. And when we have that wide and stable stance, it's easier to explore different ideas, ideas that are unknown to us or feels awkward or wrong, maybe. Exploring them, trying to see them or understand them. We don't have to agree, but to understand someone else's perspective. And then with that information, how can I take actions that are beneficial for all sentient beings, myself included? That's the hard part. Karma yoga, taking action. Okay, and then imagine how you're jumping your feet together, landing in Tadasana. Now, look at your toes. Dip your toes in ink and think about the reading, and then write a version of, or what can you do? What are you willing to do to accomplish what Dalai Lama is suggesting, if you think that's a good idea? But what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? So writing down this something that you are willing to do. And then step out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together. Breathe. Release the hands down, drop the head, let the head be heavy. Inhale, come back up, and then place that foot on the knee. Use your fingers to open up the toes. Open up the toes and allow the mind to open up. Allow the mind to open up and to be trained. We have to allow the mind to be trained. We need to be willing to think differently. So what are you willing to change right now? What thought patterns are you willing to change right now? And then bring the knees together. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under. Give yourself a hug. Changing thought patterns can be very painful. Maybe admitting that you were wrong or you did something wrong. So that can be very painful. So sometimes we need an extra hug to kind of admit or acknowledge that we have done things that were hurtful or wrong. And now we have a choice. So we can either continue doing that, or we can acknowledge that what we did was wrong and then change the thought pattern and eventually the actions. And then finding your way to your version of eagle. Stay there. Look at your eagle. What does your eagle look like today? What does your eagle need today to be able to fly a little higher? And then let that bird fly. Let it fly and land on the next mountain. And then look at your left toes. Imagine how you're dipping them in ink. And then write another story. Write another story about how you are willing to change your thought patterns, or how you're willing to allow your mind to get trained. It's not easy to change perspective or noticing things. Some things we like about ourselves and some things we don't like as much. And then stepping out wide, elbows to knees, fingertips together. Breathe. And then place the left hand on the floor, the right hand on the right knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, look up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, push into both hands to come a little deeper into the twist. And then release down. Inhale, back up, elbows to knees. And then place the right hand on the floor, left hand on the left knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, look up towards the sky. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, push into both hands and come a little deeper into the twist. And then release. Inhale, come back up. And then place the left foot on the right knee. Use your fingers to open up the toes. Gently guide that left knee out for pigeon. And then slide the knees together. Whatever leg is on top, that arm goes under. Give yourself a hug. Knowing that when we change our thought patterns, it's going to be painful or uncomfortable, because we're going to realize that sometimes we did things we thought were beneficial, but they weren't. Or sometimes maybe we did things we thought were hurtful, but they weren't. So changing the patterns is going to involve some pain and discomfort. I don't think there's any way around that. And then finding your way to your version of ego, and look at that ego. What does your ego look like today? Is it filled of confidence and courage? Does it feel like tiny? What does your ego look like today? And then let that ego fly. Let it fly. Let it fly and land on the next mountain. Now look at your fingers. Look at your fingers. So that we take action with our hands and fingers, and the mind controls the fingers. So we need to train that mind so we take good action. Clasp the hands, turn them over, straighten the elbows, breathe. Imagine your arms as wings. Imagine that eagle, big, beautiful wings. Allow those wings to go up high and spread them out wide. And go out flying in the world. Big, beautiful eagle flying high out in the sky all over the world. See that big, beautiful eagle. And then turn the palms up. Exhale, dive deep. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. And this time, exhale, dive deep and bring the arms behind you. Hold on to opposite elbows and then stay there. Stay there. So even though that eagle is big and beautiful and powerful, it also has bruises. It also has bruises. So find any place that needs a little bit of extra care. And then use your breath. Use your breath to take care of your own wounds. Use that breath. Notice how you can bring that breath to any wounds that needs to be healed. Rinse it, clean it, allow it to heal. And the scar left is wisdom, knowledge, experience that you can use to take better action in the future. See all those scars and the wisdom that it brought you. And then release. Okay, here on earth, we need muscles and strength to make things happen. So let's get those legs going. So transfer the weight forward and up, pick a number. I'll pick 12 today. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out one more time. Come back up, pick another number. I'll pick 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out, and this time transfer the weight forward and up, and then stay standing. Blinking, bubbling stars all the way up. Clasp the hands, turn them over. Straighten those elbows. Breathe. And then reach and reach. How far can you reach? Maybe imagine if you allow your mind to be retrained, how far can you reach? How far can you reach? And then let the arms go. Let the arms go. Maybe use the knees. You can turn around, swing around. You can leave the mat. And then you can come back to it. And then elbows to knees, elbows to knees. And then crossing the midline. And then finding the position of power. Position of power. What power do you have right now? What can you do right now? And then lifting the legs out to the side, waking up the external hips. And then lean and lift. Lean and lift. Breathe. And then lean and lift, lean and lift. And then wake up the front and the back of the legs. Taking action, taking action. Okay, now often what stops us from allowing the mind to be retrained is the pain, knowing that a few of the things I did in the past weren't so good. And I have a choice. So when I see that, I can either stay in denial, pretending that everything I did was good, or I can open up to the fact that there were things I did that weren't beneficial. So if I'm willing to do that and take that pain, I can change and do better later. So push away, it might be fear, or maybe it's shame. Let's do shame. Let's put away or push away the embarrassment or the shame we feel when we realize that we have done things that were painful. Okay, so imagine shame or embarrassment, and then push that away. Push that away and allow courage to take its place. Push the shame away. And it's gonna try to sneak back in, and it's gonna be hard to resist. It's gonna be hard to resist. You're gonna feel that shame again, and then push that shame, feel it, and push that shame away. And maybe you need to kick it away onto the side and the back, and then eventually allow courage to take its place. Allow courage to take its place. Okay, and that's worth to celebrate with a sun salutation. Imagine if we all could do that. Learn from our mistakes and then do better. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, down the midline. That was one. Okay, two more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, down the midline. That was two. One more. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, up and over. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way back up. Exhale, down the midline. And then stay there, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. You're going to need it. If you're willing to change, you're going to need that self-love and self-compassion. And then release. Okay, now big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. We're going to step back to warrior one. Inhale to chair posture, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. Take a big step back. Place the toes and then the heel. Hip joints are pointing forward. Build that foundation. When you have a wide and stable stance, then let the arms come up, finding warrior one. Add some blinking, bubbling stars. Place your hands in your back pockets. Stay there. Breathe. And then transfer the weight forward. Pick up that back leg. The toes are pointing down. And then lift the opposite hand. Reach it forward. You can look forward with your eyes. The chin is still tucked. Stay here for a moment. And then maybe add some movement. Maybe take the bind. And then release the feet back together, bend the knees and come back up to standing. Let's try the other side. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes off. Take a big step back. Find the earth behind you with your toes and then your heel. When you have that wide and stable stance, then bring the hands up, building Warrior One from the ground up. Add some blinking, bubbling stars. Place your hands in your back pockets. Bring the elbows together or towards each other, rather. Now, if you want to, bring your awareness to your heart space. There's going to be some pain there. Are you willing to feel the pain? Or how much? How much are you willing to feel today? And then transfer the weight forward, pick up that back leg, the toes are pointing down. Look forward with your eyes, the chin is tucked. Opposite hand comes off the chair. Reach forward, stay here for a few moments. And then maybe add some movement. Maybe take the bind. You choose. And then bring the feet back together, bend the knee, and come back up to standing. Okay, let's step back to Warrior Two. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra. Transfer the weight to the left, right heel comes off. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic halves, finding Warrior Two. One arm in the past, one in the future, and you are right here. So this is the past version of you, and you did good actions and bad actions. So being willing to look at the past version of yourself, learn from it, and then what kind of person would you like to be in the future? This is the past version of you, and this is the updated version of you. Who would you like to be in the future? Flip the front hand reverse, really looking back, learning from the past, being willing to look at it and learn from it. There are winners and there are learners. And then move into extended side angle. So what does the future version of you look like? What does the future version of you look like? And then come back to Warrior Two. This is right now. So what is one tiny thing that you can do today? Hands on your hips, straighten that front knee, release the hand down to Trikonasana. If you want to, the gaze can go up towards the sky. Maybe the hand will follow. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, rebend the front knee, finding Warrior Two one more time. Hands on the chair, pick up that back leg, look at the toes. Maybe take the same hand off the chair, maybe all the way up. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, feet together, come back up to standing. Inhale to chair, exhale to Anjali Mudra, transfer the weight to the right, left heel comes up. Take a big step back, open up the pelvic half, finding Warrior Two. This is the old you, this is the new you, and the version of you is right here. Today's version of you is right here. There's a past version of you and there's a future version of you. And you can make the decision to change. Flip the front hand reversed. And then transfer the weight forward, finding extended side angle. Come back to warrior two. Hands on the hips, straighten the front knee, release down for Trikonasana. Gaze comes slowly up towards the sky. Maybe the hand follows. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, rebend that front knee, finding warrior two one more time. Hands on the chair, pick that back leg up, look at the toes. And then maybe bring the hand off the chair. Hand comes down, gaze comes down, feet comes back together, and back to standing. Okay. Starting in mountain, big toes to touch, heels slightly apart. Feel your strength. Feel the connection to earth, and the crown of the head is reaching up towards the sky. Now transfer the weight to the left. The hip joints or the hip bones, they stay level. Bring the right heel off. The hip bones don't change. And then from here, create your balancing posture. Could be tree posture. And then slowly find your way back to mountain. Transfer the weight to the right. You can, if you want to, you can place your index fingers on the hip bones. So transfer the weight without hip bones changing. Bring that left heel up without the hip bones changing. And then lift it and find your version of a balancing posture. Could be tree, could be something else. And then finding your way back to mountain. Okay. Feet are wider than your hips. Spread the toes. Spread the toes. Hands on the chair. Release the knees a little closer. So creating that triangle with four corners. Triangle with four corners. So the top of the triangle would be in front of your knees. Stay there. Open up the toes. Allow the toes to open up. And then look at your right thumb. Dip it in paint. Draw a big circle. And then give the heel a little dot. Look at your left. Put it in paint. Draw a big circle. And give the heel a little dot. Look at both thumbs. Color. Two big circles, big circles. Maybe you can place the fingers on your heels, or maybe you prefer to put your hands in your back pocket. That's up to you. Stay there. Allow the heart to open up. Stay open. Are you willing to allow your mind and heart to get retrained? Release, untuck the toes, bring the knees wider, big toes to touch, and then release the hips to your heels, finding child's posture. And then come back up, clasp the hands, create that triangle with 4 corners, tuck the toes, lean into your support, engage the core, bring the knees off the chair, walk forward, finding dolphin posture. And then bend the knees, come back up to standing. Okay. Now moving on to the seated meditation. So I'm going to read this again. The 2 altruistic aspirations. Number 1, the aspiration to attain enlightenment is a big one. The highest form of spiritual practice is the cultivation of the altruistic intention to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, known as bodhicitta. This is the most precious state of mind, the supreme source of benefit and goodness, that which fulfills both our immediate and ultimate aspirations, and the basis of altruistic activity. However, bodhicitta can only be realized through regular, concerted effort. So in order to attain it, we need to cultivate the discipline necessary for training and transforming our mind. Okay, that's what we're doing here together. So with that in mind, let's find your seat, sit up tall. When we have about 7 minutes to practice seated meditation. So find your seat, sit up tall, bring your awareness to your breathing, and then I'm going to be quiet for about 7 minutes. Here we go. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, gently move your head from side to side. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Bring your hands up in Anjali Mudra, holding your own heart in between your hands with love and compassion. Maybe bow your head in gratitude for this practice, thousands of years old. Thank your inner guide, your past, present, and future teachers, and all the people that are joining you on this journey. Open your eyes, raise your gaze, and thank you so much for showing up this Wednesday morning. Namaste.